Hi guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Prong production and welcome to my review of the second in the 2018 Halloween trilogy. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Halloween Kills, directed by, should be on the back here, but David Gordon Green, and of course written by a whole load of people. And yeah, before I go any further, I'd like to give what the internet at large, or everyone else, thinks of the film, and then I'll give my own personal opinions of this film. You have to excuse me a little bit because I've literally got done watching this film, so I'm still kind of on a high, you know, when the adrenaline's pumping when you've just watched a film, what have you. And yeah, adrenaline's still pumping on this one, so you have to bear with me. The excitement is still there. So according to IMDb, it got a 5.5 out of 10 as far as IMDb was concerned, and it got a 42 out of 100 on Metascore. So now we're going to get into my own thoughts and opinions on this film. Before I go any further, and I do like to sort of tell you guys my overall opinion at the beginning and then go through the film, and then we'll get to the very end. This film, especially the extended cut, is bloody brutal. And I love it for that, to be honest. There's often the cliche, I suppose it is, that a horror sequel should always be a higher body count, more brutal, more intense than the original, and this delivers in so many ways. I said in the first, when I did my first review of the 2018 Halloween film, that this feels like a merging of the classic 1978 movie and then Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. This even more exemplifies that point in more ways than one. This is an absolutely brutal film. It takes place literally minutes after the first film ends and wastes no time in getting into the film. I'm not going to really go through plot points because, to be honest, this film is just Michael Myers working his way through the town of Haddonfield. He starts at Laurie's compound and makes his way through the town, heading towards his old house on Lambkin Lane, and he kills everybody that he comes across. Basically, this film does have cameos of a lot of the original actors that were in the 1978 original, and I really do like that there's sort of a full circle. When it comes to that, there's actually stars some of the original actors and actresses, but by God, is this film absolutely brutal. I loved the flashback scene at the beginning. I loved that it was reenacted 1978. You got to see you know, modern actors and actresses play, you know, Loomis and Sheriff Hawkins and all that kind of stuff. Really liked how they did that, and it looked just like how the 1978 original, except shot with modern cameras and modern equipment. And stuff like that. I really liked that throughout the film there was elements of the 1978 original interspersed into this film. I like some of the extended parts they show you, like they show you when Michael Myers was originally captured way back when. They show you when the original 1978 mob, if you will, almost killed Michael Myers but didn't quite kill him because, of course, Hawkins, spoilers by the way, Hawkins prevented them shooting, or Loomis from shooting, Michael Myers in the neck. I like, there's just some additional parts that sort of add out, that sort of pack out the lore, if you will, of this film. Even more than the first film, the cinematography, the direction, the camera angles, the way things flow together, the music. My God, this film has it all. The kills, my God, the kills. They are brutal, they are intense, they make you gasp, they make you squirm. They are not a pleasant watch, but by God, the effects on this film are fantastic. I really do enjoy in a film where, like, a killer goes on a bit of a spree and there's a montage. There's two montages. You get you get treated to 2 montages in the film. When he kills the firefighters towards the beginning of the film, he kills them, dispatches them very quickly. Towards the end of the film, when you've got the mod led by Tommy Doyle, he kills all of those. Of course, at the very end, you get a very steadfast Laurie Strode heading towards the camera in order to dispatch Michael Myers. This is a massive spoiler for the end of the film, so if you don't want to be spoiled for the end of the film, please tune away now. But of course, the extended cut does show the killing of Karen Strode, Laurie Strode's daughter, obviously, and of course that leads into the final film in the trilogy, which will be Halloween Ends, which I'll be watching very, very soon, I have to say, because this film just had it all. I don't really know what else to say. Really well acted in parts, really well produced, kills over the top, music fantastic, the production of it all. I don't know what it is about Blumhouse, how you pronounce that, and how they managed to make dark shots still look so fantastic. All of this film, the majority of the film is shot at night, but they managed to make it all look so good. Just the framing and just how it all flows. It's just a really, really good. If you're into slasher films, if you're into horror films, if you're into Halloween franchise, please check this out. I can see why so many people feel this is the strongest of the 2018 Halloween trilogy that's come out. I know a lot of people don't like Halloween Ends. I'll be forming my own opinion of that. Obviously, looking at the IMDb rating, it got a 5.5 out of 10 stars, which isn't fantastic, but I can kind of see why some critics wouldn't enjoy this film, because there's barely any story to it. Yes, if you're a hardened Halloween fan, it pads out some of the lore, it pads out some of the events of the original 1978 event that happened, and there are many cameos in this. I really like the part, I have to say, where they chased down that man that was basically innocent, essentially, and he jumped to his death. The reason why I like that, it sort of contrasts the whole, sometimes we could be the monsters. You could be going after someone who you consider is a monster and a deplorable person, but you need to remember not to become that deplorable person yourself. And obviously the way that man looks when he hits the pavement, and his limbs and his brains and all over the place, I think that was done on purpose as sort of a message, sort of to be like, you need to be careful when you are going after these individuals. And I think the film also does a really good sort of depiction of what happens when someone tries to take the law in their own hands, the collateral damage that can actually happen as a result of that. Again, I said this in the first review of the 2018 Halloween movie, but again, this sort of just exemplifies that Michael Myers isn't really human. He's just the embodiment of evil. He's the embodiment of everything that's not good with the world, and will just keep going again and again and again. Yes, you can face up to him, but you can't ultimately defeat him at the end of the day. Obviously, I'll reserve any more judgments until Halloween Ends, because I'm sure, hence its name, it's kind of final in a lot of ways, and I have heard a lot of people say that Blumhouse did pay this series a lot of respect in the end, so to speak, but we'll see what happens with Halloween Ends. But that's been my review of Halloween Kills. It gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. Just everything. It's not perfect. The storyline is non-existent. Let's be honest, there really is no storyline. Really, it's just adding to the lore that already exists in Halloween. But if you're a Halloween fan, and a solid 8. If you're not a Halloween fan, I'd say maybe a 4 or 5. It's good for a good popcorn flick, just to have on in the background maybe. But if you know the characters, you know the lore, you know what you're getting into, solid 8 out of 10 is what I give this film. Until next time, guys, please take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.